Hi, this is Mr. Billy. I've had several questions about the 1.02 uh, About Me web page assignment. Especially some of them are being submitted and they're missing some key points. And so I thought I'd just make a quick video to kind of uh, hit the high points and make sure that you fully understand what the assignment is asking. So the first thing I want to do, I'm going to put the About Me web page. Let's pop that up and I'm going to save it so I can open it and have it available for us to use. Let me get rid of that and I'll pull that over when we need it. And then the other thing um, is let's take a look at the grading rubric. So just so you can kind of see. So the key thing here, from what I've been seeing when I'm scoring these, there are three main pieces here that's worth 15 points. So each of those is 5 points. Most of you are doing fine with the 3 to 5 sentence paragraph, but the header and the numbered list seem to be giving people some issues, or at least they're not understanding what it's wanting there. The other thing is, in your reflection, as with any questions that you're responding to, please make sure 2 to 3 complete sentences for each question. And make sure you're answering all the questions that are asked. Okay, so let's go ahead and let me close that. Now, I'm going to be working instead of in the Buzz viewer. Put this link in the helpful resources, but it's codebeautify.org/HTML viewer. Okay, you can kind of see it. Oh, it won't make that part bigger. But anyway, this is a nice HTML viewer because it has a lot of nice features. It'll, like, when you put your tags in, if there's an opening closing tag, it puts them both in there as soon as you type the first one. And then you can see right next to it without having to click screens. You can see the changes to your web page as you're making them. So that makes this one, it's kind of a nice one to use. And if you sign in with your Google account, you can save and share your work from there. Okay, so let's go ahead, and it has you, all right, let me pull this over. Okay, so in here, it has you to copy paste this code into an editor and complete these steps. So here, all right, we're going to just copy that, and then I'm going to go back. Whoops, what just happened? I clicked on the wrong thing. Go back to the viewer. Okay. And I'm going to do a paste as plain text. So now you can see, all right, so with it like this is what it looks like. And so then let's go back to our instructions. And down here, all right, let me make that a little bit bigger so we can see it. Okay, it says replace your name with the actual name and format with H1. This is the part that a lot of you are missing, is using that H1 tag. In the toolbox, you have that HTML cheat sheet. And so if you look in there, right, this line here, H1 to H6, so there are 6 of those tags you can use. It's a header style, which means it's going to make a larger font and it's going to bold the text on there. So for example, to look and see how you would do that, let's go back to this. Oh, not that one, this one. Okay. So here, if say I wanted to take one of those, and I'm going to separate these apart. This is the other thing to remember, is that the computer, it doesn't recognize blank spaces in your code. Like, it ignores them. And the nice thing about that is you can use spacing to kind of help you see where your code is. So like if I want to, see, I can break apart the stuff in the code, right? Put the paragraph by itself, and then maybe I want to put the lines in and separate them out, okay? So there I can kind of, use space to sort of separate the things that I'm doing here. And so let's just say, and I'm not going to do this exactly the way that it's supposed to be because I want you to go back and you apply what we're learning here. But so say I wanted to make a header out of this 3 of my favorite things are. All right. So what I would do is I'm going to go in, I'm going to replace that P tag with an H1. I'm going to fix it. Okay, and so now you can see over there it made a heading out of that, made it larger and bolded the text. All right, so that's what it wants you to do with your name in there. Okay, and then the other thing it wants you to do is it wants you to make a numbered list. So if you go back to the Buzz lesson on page 3 of the lesson, okay, here it has OL and UL. So these first 2 tabs apply to lists, and OL is an ordered list, and ordered list meaning, if we look at the results, it's numbered, all right? Whereas UL is an unordered list, and the result there, instead of numbers, it has bullets, all right? So it wants you to do an ordered list, all right? So it's OL, and let's look at the code here. All right, if you look in there, my list, the beginning and the end of the list is marked with those opening and closing OL tags. So that has to surround the list. And then each item in the list, we identify it as a separate item by using the LI tag. And remember, you want to use good form and make sure that at the beginning and the end of the text that is a list item, that you have your opening and your closing tag. All right. The only difference, opening tag doesn't have a /, closing tag does have a / in it. Okay. And you want to make sure you always encapsulate the text that way, because otherwise you can, for example, let's go back here and let me show you what would happen. So say I put my H1 tag here, and then I did not have my closing tag. Let's see what it would do. See, it just keeps going. It like bolds everything there. So that's why it's important to make sure that you have your closing tags where they're needed. Okay. All right. So now let's go back to our list, and I'm just going to pop a list in here. All right. So give me some space. And the other thing about this viewer, again, it's going to, as soon as I put in my OL, it's going to put the closing tag there. And then I'm going to put a couple items in there. All right. And now again, for each item, I'm going to do an LI or list item tag. Right. And then we'll try to keep it lined up like that. Okay. And then, so now you can see already over here, right? Here's where that code is coming into play. So it made me a list, and it's an ordered list. It already popped those numbers in there. So you don't have to type in the numbers. So if I listed like books and dogs and cats for my list. Okay, so that is all of this code right there is what's involved in making an ordered list. All right, a numbered list, which is what they want. Now see if I change it, if I change that OL to a UL, everything else except the opening and closing tags would stay the same. You can see that now that change in the code took away the numbers and just put bullets in its place. Okay, so going back to recap, you're going to copy and paste this code from the worksheet into your HTML viewer. You're going to put in your text, like your name, paragraph about yourself, your favorite things. Then your name, you're going to make it a header using the H1 tag. Remember to do an opening and a closing around your name. And then where your favorite items are, you're going to take your 3 favorite things and format that into a numbered list. All right. And so going back to, like I said, there's the code. Well, that's for my unnumbered list, but you would just change it to an OL, right? So if I pop it back to OL, then now I'm going to get my numbers back. So hopefully this will help clarify this assignment. And if you have any questions, just let me know.